All right, guys, so why would a bank even consider doing a short sale? So there's two main reasons why they're gonna wanna do this: financial and liability. So financial, we're talking about potentially saving the bank about 15%. I mean, think about simple numbers: 100 grand, 15%, that's $15,000. On $1 million, that's 150 grand. So it's a significant savings. So where are the savings in this? Number one is attorney costs. If they proceed throughout the entire foreclosure process, they're paying these attorneys to do all the paperwork, work with the courts, and it's going to cost more in attorney costs if they go from beginning to end to the complete foreclosure process. The next thing is the cost to evict. I mean, it's not very expensive to evict somebody, but might be different in your state. But there is a process and a cost to evict, and in the state of Florida, it's about a 30-day period as well. So the bank also loses some time there. They lose some time from even going to open market for a resale for the foreclosure. The bank's going to have personnel costs, contractor costs. When the bank forecloses on the property, they're going to have to get contractors that are going to handle mowing the lawn, trashing the property out, cleaning it up. Property costs. There's other underlying costs that add up big money, especially if a bank has foreclosed on a ton of properties. Think about it. What do you pay in your own electric bill? So figure electric bill across thousands of properties. You got water bills, you got pool bills, you got lawn maintenance, any and all utilities. There's also taxes and insurance. The lender's gonna have to pay the taxes per diem every day on that property, as well as insurance. Boarding up windows and doors to make sure that people aren't breaking into the property. When we represented banks for REO listings, we had to get contractors out there that actually would build platforms over pools. If the pools were in really bad shape, we'd have to get them to take care of the expenditures for building these platforms over pools so that they were safer. And as previously mentioned, trash out, that's huge. A lot of times the people that get foreclosed on, they're disgruntled and they just leave everything that they didn't want to take with them. And a lot of times they're going from a house to something a lot smaller, or they're moving in with family members. So they just leave all that crap there. And then you have to hire these contractors to get in there and take a lot of stuff out. Another thing that we've seen is infestation from rats to cockroaches to termites. So again, the bank has incentive to really not take that property back, not own that property, and just wipe their hands of it and say, you know what, we're gonna save money if we go ahead and approve this short sale. All right, and the second thing is liability. Prime example, when we were dealing with REO properties and listing some for a company called Brighton, I went to this property on its initial inspection, so you'd have to go out and assess the property, see if anybody's living there. And I'm trying to look around the property. It did look like somebody lived there. There was no car in the driveway, but I went up, knocked on the door, and sure enough, this guy had a shotgun. He didn't point it at me, but he had it in his hand, and it was pointed down toward the ground. He opened up the door, asked me what the I wanted, and I just told him, look, I'm not with the bank, I'm a real estate agent. I actually came to present an offer to you, and you're gonna have to put away the gun if you want me to help you out and get you some cash. Sure enough, he did put his gun down, and it turns out he was a really nice guy, but I guess he had other issues with maybe other bank reps coming to the door or being served. I don't know, but he was not happy at all. And we did end up listing that property. I was able to get the guy almost $2,000 to move out. He had to move out, making sure that it was in a clean position and there's no damages, and in its as-is condition as I saw it. So it all worked out. But there's liability. The banks assume liability of whoever's in that property. Speaking of whoever's in that property, other people might not even be owners in the property. Some of them, they're squatters, people that have seen a property sitting vacant for months at a time, and they break into these properties. So you're gonna have squatters potentially in their properties. Also, there's tenants. The tenants will get served as well throughout the foreclosure process, so they know what's going on. And I can tell you, many tenants, once they get served, they understand the landlord's not paying the mortgage. What happens? You guessed it right. they stop paying the landlord. They don't care. So a lot of times the tenants become an issue, and then the banks have a liability with the tenants as well. They can be just as bad as squatters, and then they have to go through the eviction process. They damage the property. Another thing is when a property's sitting vacant and the bank owns it, you can have trespassers. There's people that'll break into the property. They can smash windows. I've seen others where you can tell that they've had a full-blown party in some of these houses. So the banks want to reduce their liability for anybody trespassing on the property. And think about it, if somebody gets hurt on these properties, what are they going to do? They're going to try to sue the owner, and the owner is the bank. They're going to have to go through insurance proceedings and so forth. And last thing is property oversight and other issues. Again, as mentioned, you can have infestations, and there's just all sorts of stuff that can happen with a property that's sitting vacant. And sometimes, you never know if a property, a pipe burst or something like that, where the property gets flooded out, or fire, or some of these other unforeseen circumstances that happen where, the property can get damaged. So again, if you're thinking that why would the bank even entertain this, I can tell you the bank will. They do not want these properties. They are in business to lend money. They're not landlords. A bank is a bank to lend money. That's it. They want to collect interest off of loans, and that's what they're in business for. So don't think for a second that a bank won't entertain a short sale proposition.